P joins the Liberal Party, bringing Carney within 1 seat from a majority government. Who said you needed an election? My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. What did I say? I predicted this, a month and a half ago when D'Entremont left and joined the liberals. I called it. How long before another one does it? And now Carney is within 1 seat from a majority. No need for an election. Called it, and it happened. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild, man. I don't know. To me, this should be an obvious take. Like, regardless of, like, again, yeah, I get it. Crossing the floor has a long history in the parliamentary system, but there's something wrong when you get a majority that way. When you're going after the other side to get a majority, because if the Canadian people wanted the Liberals to have a majority, they would have given him one at the elections we had a few months ago.
I couldn't agree more. Let's jump right into it, because I have a couple of videos to show here already, because this story is massive, right? Everybody's talking about it. It's breaking everywhere. Sure. This was not going to be the topic of the show, but we have to talk about this. So CBC already released this, so let's listen to what CBC had to say about this.
Another member of the Conservative Party has crossed the floor to join the Liberal caucus. We have a statement from Member of Parliament Michael Maw, issued by the Liberal Party on his behalf. He is the Member of Parliament for Markham Unionville, one of the key Greater Toronto area seats that the Conservatives won in the last election. And the quote says, "After listening carefully to the people of Markham Unionville in recent weeks and reflecting with my family on the direction of our country, I have informed the Speaker and the Leader of the Opposition that I will be joining Prime Minister Mark Carney in the government caucus. This is a time for unity and decisive action for Canada's future. I came to Canada at 12 years old as the youngest of 7, quickly learning the importance of hard work and resilience. Those values, building up others, delivering results, and choosing a path that creates opportunity, have guided me throughout my career in business and now as a Member of Parliament. In that spirit, I've concluded that Prime Minister Mark Carney is offering the steady, practical approach we need to deliver on the priorities I hear every day while door knocking in Markham Unionville. This includes making life more affordable, growing a strong Canadian economy, strengthening community safety, and creating real opportunities for young people and families who are working hard to build their Canadian dream.
I always like
to help people to focus on solutions, not division. I look forward to working with Prime Minister Carney to make sure that Markham Unionville and all of Canada can move forward with confidence and build a stronger, safer, and more prosperous future." So this is from Michael Maw, Conservative.
So there you have it. This is what CBC had to say about it. Before we address and we give our opinions, I want to show another video from Michael Maw that dates to October 27th, 2025. So this is a month and a half old. And here's what he had to say about the Liberal Party.
Committee to improve Bill C-3 are being undone by my post-nationalist colleagues across the aisle. They don't believe in Canada because they don't believe in our borders. They believe in a two-tier immigration system where citizenship by naturalization within our borders has harder requirements.
So I guess he doesn't believe in borders now either.
By descent outside of our borders. They believe in distributing the privileges of Canadian citizenship abroad while offloading the cost and duties of citizenship to those who live coast to coast to coast. They believe that Canadians of convenience should be able to wear the Team Canada jersey without even putting time on our ice. People who want to be in the team photo without being a team player.
Bro,
that's pretty fucking strong. No, but saying that they need immigrants shouldn't be allowed to have all the Canadians' privilege because they haven't played on the team. Motherfucker, please. You literally just left the team you were elected to represent.
Well, I mean, I think that little clip clearly shows that none of this is based on any personal convictions, or they just get it's just power brokerage. They got offered a deal and they took it. And it doesn't matter if it's good for Canada. Doesn't matter.
This
if
is
the
where
Canadian
you and
people
I
want it.
disagree. It ain't a deal. Carney got something on him. Michael
you
Maw,
think?
what the fuck did Carney have on you? This is what it is. It's more
he's
than
Chinese,
just bribery.
Right? He's Chinese,
Yeah.
right?
You
Okay.
remember Hot
Maybe
Wheels
the CCP
from the US?
Maybe the CCC passed some information. Hey, here's what we got on Ma.
Hot Wheels, the senator,
Greg
the
Abbott.
governor of
Greg
Abbott, the governor of Texas, said that every
Hot
single
Wheels.
time you see the two sides get along on something is because they were bought. The people in powers that wanted that bill to pass bought them off or had something on them, and that is exactly what I'm seeing. But the point in the matter is that now Carney is within one seat of a majority without ever having to call for an election. And this shouldn't be legal. We spoke about this before, but this shouldn't be legal. You should not be allowed to be elected a conservative and then move to another party during your mandate. You should automatically become an independent, and it should trigger a by-election. Problem solved.
Yeah.
But the worst part is that I did some research just before the show, and this is unprecedented in Canadian history, where two conservatives have joined the Liberal Party in such a quick succession. So not only should that not be legal, but this has never happened before.
And I think it doesn't really benefit Carney to take 2 or 3, right? It doesn't benefit him to get. Well, how many is he taking now? Is it 2 he's gotten so far, or 3?
He took D'Entremont a month and a half, 2 months ago. Now he got Ma. He's one seat away from a majority.
It didn't benefit him to get those 2. He needs 3, right? There's no point to having 1 seat shy of majority. That's no different. So, that's the plan, right? He wants to get a majority. And, do you
not remember the video I played on the show where Mark Carney said, hey, guys, if you're a Canadian citizen and your MP is not a Liberal, contact them and tell them to join my team. Mark Carney said that live on television during an interview. This is insane. Again, never happened before. We are literally seeing an election being stolen. This is what we're seeing right now. No matter how you look at it, there's nothing good. Let's say that you're right, it's bribery. He got something in exchange, whatever that is. Sure, that's the best case scenario. In my opinion, it's something way more cynical than that. He has something on him because he literally badmouthed. He literally talked against the Liberals a month and a half ago, and now he's part of them.
Well, yeah.
What's changed in the past month and a half? But I like your example, the CCP or the CPP. Sorry, that's an interesting take. That is very interesting.
Well, they might have something on them, right? And to your point that this has never happened before, it's because in the past when people have crossed the floor, it's only happened. You might, most sessions of Parliament doesn't happen at all. The ones where it does, you might have one do it because it is traditionally it has been because of a genuine political disagreement, right? It has been because of personal convictions. That's not what's going on here. This is just power brokerage or whatever. What if maybe it was whether it was bribery or blackmail? It's something that's not this. I think
and he is Chinese, by the way. You assume because you're a bit racist that he was Chinese, and because he couldn't pronounce its R's, you automatically assume he's immigration. So you automatically assume that he was Chinese because he can't pronounce his R's. But in this case, your racism paid off because he is Chinese.
That's right. Stereotypes of that for a reason. It's
Jesus.
It's pretty crazy, man. I don't know. This is to me, this is a definitely against any sort of democratic norms, if there are any left.
It's not ethical at all.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. I think, the solution you gave is the correct one. There should automatically be first. You should be able to leave your party. I have no problem with that, but you should be forced to be an independent, and then there should immediately be a by-election. We ran a by-election to get fucking Pierre Poilievre a seat for no reason other than so that he could be the leader of the Conservative Party. So certainly we can do a by-election for something like this. It's it stinks, man. The whole thing fucking stinks.
It's not right. The whole thing's not right. But unfortunately, remember, I called it a month and a half, 2 months ago. Whenever D'Entremont joined the Liberals, I'm like, oh, there we go. You had D'Entremont joining the Liberals. Then remember, there's one that left the party that became an independent and has never been has never showed up to Parliament ever again. Yeah. He's saying, oh, I'm going to retire. Now you have another one that left. One more. You know it's going to happen. I predicted this, and it was too easy. It was too easy to see. He does not need an election. But for the conservative people out there, because if you've never been on this show before, if you do not know who we are, Rob's a liberal. He's an anti-woke liberal. I'm a Christian conservative. So I'm way more conservative than the conservatives, because the Conservative Party is not conservative at all. But the point of the matter is that I predicted this. It was simple to see. And this is not about politics. This is all about power. They're all part of the same fucking party. If this type of shit doesn't prove it to you, I don't know what will. But political parties don't matter anymore. They all play a sport that we're not invited. We just get to watch. And they're just a big fucking party. And unfortunately, we're getting fucked. They don't work for us.
George Carlin, right?
They don't work for us.
Big club, and
100%. It's a big club. We're not in it. And also from George Carlin, since we're on that page, if voting actually mattered, they would not let us do it.
Yeah, that's right.
George Carlin was a genius. Oh yeah, let's take some comments. That's the whole point, man. That's the whole point.
Yeah, there's a ton of them coming in here.
Go for it.
Tell you broke says money bought this Mo. Yeah, it's like Biggie said, right? Ma money, ma problems.
Ma money, ma problems. Ma problem.
Problems. Oh Jesus.
Ma money, mo problems.
Oh, but Jesus.
My 2 cents is he locked his X account. Yeah, because nothing says
hold on, X account. Oh, X account, Facebook, and Instagram. All 3 of them are locked right now.
Nothing says deeply held conviction like locking your X account.
Correction. Come on.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna stop.
DNL says Nico on this. Correct.
Oh, DNL and I agree. Jesus,
yeah, it's a crazy day.
Wow.
You know. It's
okay, guys. Guys, this was a great show. On that note, we'll see you Sunday. No, I'm just kidding.
DNL, our resident lefties, taking over from Joe Sardamas, who isn't here as often.
Yep.
Says Nico on this, we agree 100%. They should sit as independent, but why are these conservatives leaving the party is the other important point of discussion here. That's a good point. Pierre Poilievre cannot escape scrutiny here. He has to bear some responsibility. Your guys are leaving under you.
That's 3.
Especially once the first one happened. Maybe you give him a freebie, right? Maybe you give him a gimme. But after that, why is he not locking the fuck down? Why doesn't he have his whips whipping? That's the point of whips, is they whip. I don't know if they get an actual whip, if that's what you need to do. But that's leadership, man. That is pure leadership. And as we've discussed before on the show, how leadership works. Even if it's not your fault, you get the blame. Even if you didn't do anything, you get the credit. So you got to apply that. At some point, the conservatives have to stop giving Pierre Poilievre a break here.
There was I was moving the truck earlier to be on the right side of the street so I don't get fucking ticketed. And I was listening to the radio, and there's a new poll from Angus Reid that came out. I'm just looking at it right now. I'm looking at what they're saying, but Pierre Poilievre went from something like a 78% approval rate from conservatives. We're not talking about liberals. We're not talking about NDP, or within his own party. He had something like a 72 or 78% approval rate. He's in the high 50s now. So it's not looking good. That's
dropping. Yeah, I think more important than the numbers,
this is not looking good.
Right? The direction.
Well, the thing is that if the numbers is about conservative people from within his party, this is bad. This is bad for him because he will have. Don't forget, guys, he does have a review vote like he has a leadership review in January. This is not good for him. Like, this is really, really not good for him. Although I was talking about this with David Creighton on Wednesday or Wednesday, that's yesterday. Who knows who is there to replace him? Really.
Well, that's just it. And again, that's on the Conservative Party for not having someone in the wings. And it makes you almost wonder if Poilievre has, intentionally not allowed a successor to be groomed for his own protection, right? Because once you groom a successor, now you're kind of on the clock a little bit. But yeah, the Conservative Party is a mess. Something's gone wrong if you're losing like 3 people so far. It's gonna be 4 soon. I think they're gonna
100%. I just want to stand corrected. It wasn't from the high 70s. It was from the high 60s. So the decline in Pierre Poilievre's number, in particularly notable amongst 2025 Conservative voters, with support slipping from 68% in August to 58% by December 2025. So he lost 10% of his voting intentions within his party. This is not good. Like 10% in August to December. So you're talking 4 months, just over 4 months. That does not look good for him. I'm very curious to see how he's going to explain this one. I want to take this one right here. Woke till you're broke. We want an election. You're not going to get one. They don't need one anymore.
No, not with this.
The Liberals have 1 seat. I've said this before.
And this
Pierre Poilievre shot the bed. Pierre Poilievre had the opportunity to trigger an election on November 7th. He could have backed the bloc amendments to the budget that the NDP supported, that the Greens supported. Instead of voting with the bloc, NDP and the Green against the Liberal budget, he voted for it. He voted for the Liberal budget. If right now the Liberals are still in power, it's because of Pierre Poilievre. There's one guy to miss, and there's one guy to actually accuse. It's his responsibility. At the end of the day, if there's one person that holds responsibility for the Liberals still being in power, it's Pierre Poilievre, because he had the power to trigger an election. But he decided to ask for how did he call it? He asked for an affordable budget instead of an expensive election.
Yeah.
Oh, costly election. Sorry. He wanted an affordable budget instead of a costly election. So only one person to blame. It is Pierre Poilievre, because he could have dropped this fucking government on November 7th. He chose not to. That is his own fucking fault. And this hopefully starts to open the eyes of the Conservative people in Canada like me that were disillusioned by thinking that parties mattered. But what George Carlin said, if voting actually did something, we wouldn't be allowed to do it. If this doesn't prove to you guys, Pierre Poilievre not wanting an election, and now you have 2 of his own party that left for the Liberals, you have 1 that quit, you're 1 away from a majority, something that has never happened in Canadian history. But this is where we're at right now. Carney's 10 months in, elected on a minority government. He's going to get his majority government. And don't forget, guys, Bill C2, C8, C9, C12, C16, then the new Bill C63. He will no longer need help from any other party. He will be able to pass all the fucking censorship and surveillance bills he wants. And you can blame Pierre Poilievre for this one, because it is 100% on him. Because not only by triggering an election would have prevented what's going on right now, or at least given a chance for Canadians, if you believe that elections actually matter, but let's say that you do, would have given a chance for Canadians to vote in bigger numbers for the Conservatives, but it would have also killed all of those bills. That's the only thing I see good from that election, is that it would have killed Bill C2, C8, C9, C12, C16, and potentially the new Bill C63, or it wouldn't have been tabled at all. So it's not looking good for Canadians when it comes to our freedom of speech, to our freedoms as a whole. So not looking good.
Derek Sittler agrees with you. He says this all goes back to PP not killing the budget. And
100%.
We gave analysis at the time, and for me, the calculation was simple. It was, yeah, for sure. Because remember, the thinking was, well, the polls aren't looking so good. He probably doesn't want a liberal majority to win the election, which is why the liberals wanted the election, because this was back when they were still four seats away from a majority, and the polls were looking good. And I think they won election because they thought they'd win a majority. And the argument was, yeah, okay, that's a possibility. They might win a majority, but if you don't trigger an election, then there's 100% chance that they get one, right? Because they're going to do it this way. They're going to steal enough conservatives to get them to cross the floor, and that's literally exactly what is happening. They're one away, and it is absolutely like they're going to get it for sure.
Yep.
Because now they have a
100%.
real vested interest in now that they're only one away. So they're going to step up their efforts. They're going to, whatever methods they're doing to get these people, they're going to ramp those up aggressively. They'll get it. And of course, there becomes a point where, one guy crossing the floor, okay, it happens. 2, starts to be a disaster. 3, now it's a trend, right? It's not that hard to be the 4th guy to cross the floor. And this is where it falls squarely on Poilievre, because you had a chance to stop this back when it was a trickle. Now the dam is broke and there's nothing you can do. And, there's a review coming up. Woke to Your Broke says he's going to lose his position. Yeah, there's that review coming up in January. And I was thinking he was probably pretty safe because why would you go to all this trouble, get this seat out in Battle Creek or Crow's Foot or whatever the fuck it is, only to get rid of him in January. But now, I mean, with this, I could see it. I could see him losing that seat.
The problem is that no matter how you look at it, the Conservative Party is fucked, and the Liberals have the power that they wanted. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't matter. Pierre Poilievre is not a leader. He's terrible leader. He's not a conservative. He doesn't have any type of courage whatsoever. He doesn't have the balls to address the real problems. And look what happens. No matter how you look at it, let's say that you're not a conspiracy theorist the way that I am, and that you don't think that D'Entremont and Ma now, that Carney had something on them. Okay, cool. Let's say that I'm wrong. Awesome. Let's say that they really left because they don't like Pierre Poilievre, that Pierre Poilievre is not a good leader. Let's say that that's the real reason. That's the best case scenario, by the way. He's the fault. He's the problem. No matter how you look at it, Pierre Poilievre needs to be blamed for that. He cannot get a hold of his own party. He's not able to control his own party, and he didn't have the balls to vote against the budget when he had the perfect opportunity to do it because it was not politically safe for him. Because David Creighton said something yesterday that I agree with him, is that in his head, Mark Carney is going to become, not Mark Carney, sorry. In his head, Pierre Poilievre sees himself as PM, as the Prime Minister of Canada. He doesn't care that it takes another 4 years. He doesn't care that Canadians have to suffer for another 3 to 4 years if that's the time that it takes for him to become Prime Minister. And it seems to me that it's all that matters to him. In the same way as Danielle Smith, when she signed that fucking MOU 2 weeks ago, pretty much affirmed that she's a federalist. Why would she do that? Because it turns out that she might have her eyes on being Prime Minister of Canada. And that's what some sources are saying. I cannot confirm that this is true, but it's fucking logical if you think about it. That's the reason why she did it, because it wasn't in the best interest of Alberta. So our politicians are doing what they do best, politicking. They don't do this. So you don't have to believe in the globalist agenda that everything's controlled by the WEF, the WHO, the UN, the way that I do, or World Bank. You can simply look at them for being selfish and not caring about others except for themselves. Because that's the best case scenario. It's bad. It's really bad. But yeah, we'll see a majority within what? I said a month and a half ago, 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to beat that. Yeah.
Fuck.
From here,
I said 6 months to have some time. Just have some time.
I think 3 months is a fair estimate from here. And that's, again, to have some time. Because I think I would not at all be shocked if it's less than a month. And it could very well be less than a week. Like once you start the momentum going on something like this, because you know they're going to ramp up their methods. They're going to go after people even more aggressively. And the fact that they were able to get a guy who a month ago felt comfortable, talking shit about the Liberals and the conservatives who crossed the floor. I mean, they're digging deep. They're not just going for those, quote unquote red Tories. They're going for anybody.
So I'm just looking here because last year, if I remember correctly, the winter, like the Christmas break for the House of Commons was the 19th. It was the 18th to the 19th. And then Trudeau dissolved government and all that shit and had Mark Carney replace him as the leader. Now I'm trying to see when are they leaving for? So it's on the adjourning tabling, so it's on the 17th. So the last time that they were in Parliament, in the House of Commons, was today. There's no more House of Commons for the rest of the year. They are adjourning on the 17th. Man, they sat 72 days this year. That's insane. They're supposed to sit a minimum of 130 or 135. They sat 72 days this year.
Well,
and they're going on break. The reason I was bringing that up is that they're going on break for a month and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
They're so tired from their last break, so they need to go on break.
Yeah, they're not restarting the House of Commons until January 26th. That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
That's not
like the old days.
Bad,
when Parliament used to go on break during harvest season, because all the parliamentarians used to be farmers or civilians, and they go home and harvest their crops. Now
that's not what they're doing. No,
that's not what they're doing.
No, definitely. No.
They just want to have more time for coke and hookers. Tim Rush says, hey guys, first time someone across the channel. Hello from Southern Ontario, Insane Politics Canada. Welcome, Tim. Appreciate that.
What's going on?
Yeah, stick around. Hopefully, if you are a political orphan, if you find yourself disgusted with the state of politics today, then this is a place for you. Hopefully, you stick around. Had a good comment there from Ivermectin here. He says, as soon as Pierre took his glasses off, I knew he was listening to a team that was trying to sell his image, which means he'll listen to them. He'll listen to anybody, especially money or bribery. And that's actually, it kind of sounds superficial, like who cares if he takes his glasses on or off? But it's actually an interesting analysis point here, because you're right. It absolutely is an image thing. And any politician who's that concerned by his image, it makes you wonder who's got his ear. Is it the guys who are the policy wonks, the guys who are big on policy, or the image wonks, the guys who are just worried about image? Like that higher bar mark for him was eating that apple in the orchard, right? He's been coasting ever since that apple.
Man, I don't know if you saw the videos this week, but he was in a gym owned by a guy that looked like an Indian. He had a turban on.
What the hell is he doing?
The Indian guy actually looked pretty buff. Like he was the owner of the gym. He looked like a guy that worked out. And then Pierre Poilievre in his suit.
What's Millhouse?
Like he took the jacket off, but he had the shirt and the dress pants and the dress shoes in a gym. Like he can't even play the part when he's visiting. He's got
like
a
muscle shirt under, like a literal. Yeah, he's got a padded muscle shirt underneath. Like, nah, bro. Get out of here,
just. It's like, I've never seen those machines before. Bitch, please. You've never been in a fucking gym before. Stop with this shit. Like, yes, you might be strapping your stomach. How do you call the gurgle, whatever the fuck it's called, where you can wrap your stomach to make it look. He probably has a girdle under his shirt now.
Wait, what's your favorite exercise? I liked the benched press.
The
benched press.
You can ask if you want to figure out if a guy hits the gym. Ask him what 45 plus 45 is. If he says 90,
or even
he doesn't go to the gym. If he says 135, you know that guy goes to the gym.
Or even, what's 2 plates? What's 2 plates?
Just 45 plus 45. That's 135. What? That because you go for the gym and 45 pounds is the barbell. That's how the gym works.
The barbell also. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Ivermectin says problem with most people talking politics is that they're worried about their career online. That's why I like this room, because you're just worried about things that matter. Yeah, we're not worried about our careers on here. We don't give a shit.
We'll never get real politicians on the show here. You know, man, we will never get good politicians on the show.
Although
they will never. No, but not the mainstream ones. They will never come to a show like this, and that's okay.
No, they'd be terrified.
That's okay.
They'd be terrified.
Yeah.
We actually get a lot of good guests, though. Not politicians, but
we get good guests, but they're like us.
Yeah,
they're like us. They just don't. They're not worried about what they're gonna say, that it's gonna hurt people's feelings. They don't care.
Yeah.
Was there?
Let me see here. Yeah.
Was there more? Yeah. Was there more comments you wanted to take? Did you see the one with the? I shouldn't even play this, but from Pam. What do you call a Chinese woman with one leg? Irene. Took me a second. Yeah. But as far as like good actual comments, like that's okay.
Comments of substance, no.
No, but that was good actually. That's
that was funny. Anastasia,
I appreciate
Nico
that,
PM. Yeah, I actually would support this.
No,
I think it's time we had our first openly gay prime minister. I think we're ready. I think it would put them moving forward.
That's funny. That's actually funny, buddy. Good for you. You made a funny. Wow, you made a funny. Yeah, you were just waiting. Yeah,
biding my time. I was
good for you, buddy. Good for you. No, that was a good one, man. I'm surprised you thought about it, but good for you.
Trevor Benson. Have you ever tried to reach out to Sam Cooper? Nico, I think he could be a great guest. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm sure Nico will.
Sam Cooper. Is he not a fucking cool journalist? Is that not who he is? Because if that is, yes, I have. And unfortunately, often you need to know somebody. Because those guys,
yeah,
I believe that Sam Cooper is a very cool journalist. Yeah, that's it. That's the guy. Yeah, I'm just Googling him right now. I don't know I know the guy. I would love to have him on. I've reached out to him. Yeah, he's a specialist on the Canada-China relationship and tensions. He knows a lot about the CPP influence on Canadian politics. That's why I wanted to reach out to him. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I would love it.
Derek Sittler, he took his glasses off because the Dagnalong guys were calling him Milk House. That's so funny. Do you ever see the Simpsons episode when Bart gets glasses and he goes to school and he looks at Milhouse and he can see his reflection in Milhouse's glasses?
Yeah.
So he sees himself and he's like, "Oh no, I'm a nerd." And Milhouse sees himself and Bart's like, "What? So am I." That's Polly.
Yep. He's not fooling anybody. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
He's not fooling anybody. If you don't have any other ones you want to take, cool. Yep. So because there's another topic I wanted to talk about today that was supposed to be the main topic of the day, but this was breaking and we've been going at it for 35 minutes, so we made a good that was the right choice. I want to talk about the sponsor for today's episode of The Political Orphan is sponsored by Gabble, the world's first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to sit back and watch other debates, or if you have the balls, you can join and debate others. Because Gabble, just like The Political Orphans, believes in civil discourse. So if you want to join Gabble, look in the description below. Our affiliate link is there. I join them all the time. I'm there 3-4 times a week. Love to debate people, and surprisingly, people are polite. So you'll battle with people from all over North America on topics that are trending in the news. So if you want to try to debate people, that's the place to do it. I want to mention that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we have a special episode of The Political Orphans where Mark Nixon is going to join us because of a video that I made calling him out last week, and he's going to come address the video. So 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. On Saturday, we have a Saturday night mashup at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on radical Islam. So that is a topic that I speak about all the time that I absolutely cannot wait to speak about again. And on Sunday, we don't have an episode from 8 to 9 like we normally do, but we will be on live from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern because I am joining we are organizing a charity live for Arthur Pulowski, Pastor Arthur Pulowski out of Alberta, for the work that he does for the homeless people. So yeah, there you
go. Also, just before we do move on the topic, quick comment here from Ivermectin. He says, I appreciate you guys keep it so interactive here. I just want to take that just in case you are a new listener, a new viewer, if you just stumbled across today. That's how we roll here. That's what the show's all about. We're not just a couple of yahoos sitting in their home studios shooting the shit. We are that, but we're also we're engaging with the audience. We're taking comments. So get those questions out there. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, if you think we look like a butt plug, throw it in the comments and we might actually take it. And I didn't just make that up. Someone did call me a butt plug the other day and we took that comment. So yeah, that's how we roll here. Throw the comments in there. The show is intended to be interactive. Yeah, that's how, it's one of the best ways you can support the show. Is just by watching and commenting. If you want to become a member, is another way you can support the show. Help build the community. You can do that through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can also buy us a coffee in the top right-hand corner of your screen.
Yes, sir. So here is the main topic I wanted to talk about today. Canada signed this needs to be absolutely everywhere. Because, I talk about digital ID, I talk about conspiracy theorists or conspiracy theories all the time. And yet again, it seems that one of my conspiracy theories is coming true. So it was announced that Canada signed a deal with the EU to make digital IDs interoperable across borders. So it's official. Our government is working with the EU. They met with the G7 on Monday, and they're announcing that we will be building a cross-border digital ID framework based on AI technology. What the fuck have I been saying? That AI enables digital IDs? But wait till we have a video here. We're going to show the video. Then I found an article that's been talking about this. That's all they specialize. It's by a company called biometricupdate.com is the name of the website. And they're big fervent of digital IDs. But there's a couple of things that they talk about in there that is absolutely scary. That kind of confirms what I've been talking about. So here's a 3-minute video from Evan Solomon, that is our AI minister, when he was at the G7 speaking about digital IDs on Monday.
These memoranda of understanding are focused on what really counts for Canadians and for Europeans. First and foremost, trust, confidence, and building a better life for all of our citizens. And the first MOU deepens our bilateral cooperation on AI, standards, regulation, skills, and adoption. And the aim is for Canada and the EU to reaffirm the economic benefits of AI and build on them in a responsible manner, to help businesses adopt AI more quickly in order to create better jobs, serve our citizens better, and minimize any downside risk. At this historic moment, I would say Canada is very proud not only to work with the EU and our G7 partners, also to develop the AI adoption blueprint that helps SMEs adopt AI with confidence and drive the next wave of growth and prosperity. And that will be one of the big takeaways from this G7. Now, the second MOU that we just signed
That's the one.
outlines our intent to work together on digital credentials and trust services.
See how he didn't call it digital IDs? Digital credentials.
Yes, yeah. Guys, it's not digital ID, it's digital credentials.
It's not the same. And it's all about trust because you trust the government, right? Right?
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
right?
Of course.
You trust the government, right?
and trust services. And Hannah and I both agreed the bottom line in all this is that people will not only use these tools, they'll only use these tools if they trust them. Trust is the precursor to adoption and diffusion. Citizens need to know that their privacy is safe. Citizens need to know that their personal information is safe. And when we align our AI standards, Canadian and European companies can compete more effectively globally. And when we collaborate our approaches to digital credentials, we make cross-border interactions easier.
Today, we discussed how Canada and the EU can interconnect our.
So we don't need to listen to her. We get the idea. First and foremost, let's say this: an MOU is a memorandum of understanding, and it is not legally binding, just like the one that the Liberals have signed with Alberta. But it does show intentions, right? As much as it's not legally binding, you still see what they're working on, because they are working on this. The deal that they signed might not be legally binding, but they have been. Canada, as when I say they, I'm talking about Canada. Canada has been working on a digital ID since, I think it's 2016, 2015, even before that. Especially during COVID, the COVID years, they really started working on developing the framework for it. And here is what I wanted to show. So I was doing a bit more research here, and here is a website that is biometricupdate.com that spoke about the EU and Canada agree to collaborate on digital ID mutual recognition pilots. Where I want to draw your attention is they're talking about the representative of the European Union, Canada, merged from the meeting of the EU-Canada Digital Partnership Council on Monday with an agreement to respectively work on digital IDs in each of their jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. But one of the part that is here that is worth looking at, because that's the part that I've been speaking about. This is the part that worries me with digital IDs, is they will collaborate on joint use case and pilot projects to advance cross-border interoperability, building on Canada's new digital ID framework. What the fuck is the Canada's new digital ID framework? Well, lucky for us, they explain it. And this is the part that is extremely, extremely fucking scary. Canada's national standard body has approved a new code of practice for digital ID based on the Pan-Canadian Trust Framework to guide public and private sector organizations in their implementation of digital ID programs and digital trust policies. But here is the part that we all need to be worried about, because this is what I talk about all the time. Biometrics are defined in this document as also referred to as biological or behavioral characteristics, confirmation, an annex on credentials, verification notes, the caution towards stipulating biometrics and standards, but also says biometric authentication could be used in conjunction with ownership authentication. So if you don't understand what this means, we have an announcement on Monday that, and it was right here in Montreal at the a small G7 reunion, or a conference, I guess you could call it, where the G7 countries met to talk about building a digital ID framework with Canada and the EU. Then our framework that we've already been working on in Canada has a biometrics component. And what have I been saying on the show? Digital ID in itself, if you just look at them and you trust your government, they can be very useful, because it would make it easier. You don't have to carry a wallet with you, just like people that use, how many people out there use their bank cards still? A lot of people just zap their phones, right? I get it. I can understand why digital IDs could be interesting for people. But the big problem is that when they start talking about biometrics, when they start asking for your facial features, they start asking for your fingerprints, for your DNA, for anything that will make you recognizable. And with all the cameras that are installed right now, facial recognition is a problem. It is something that's already available. Somebody earlier talked in the comment about Palantir. Palantir is a software that is meant for this. And for the guys out there, JD Vance, the vice president of the US, was sponsored by Palantir. So you got somebody, one of the most powerful men on the planet is actually in bed with Palantir. So this is technology that already exists. And this is problematic because that means that your digital ID is attached to your biometrics. And what's the next step? Attaching your financial to it. Remember Enemy of the State, Will Smith, a movie from the fucking 90s where they're turning off his whole life because he was given something that he doesn't even know about. He was slipped something in his pockets and the government thinks he has it. They shut him down. How easy will it be for our government to do that? What's the movie with Tom Cruise where they work with three human beings that can predict the future?
Report? Yeah,
Minority Report. So not that part, like don't forget about the minority part, like the predicting the future part. But if you remember technology that was in there, the facial recognition was absolutely everywhere. And he had to change his eyeballs in order to be able to just walk in public. So, man, the technology is there. I come from the tech world. We talked about facial recognition 10, 15 years ago in stores, in expensive stores. I was just talking about this week, remember? And now they're talking about implementing this. And what did Starmer said in the UK? By the end of his term, digital ID will be required if you want to work. Like this, we are headed, to me, digital IDs is the line in the sand. If we accept digital IDs, we're fucked. We are literally giving the power to a few to control the many through AI. AI technology is enabling this, and it's no coincidence that even Solomon is the minister of AI, and he's the one talking about digital IDs, because you need AI in order to be able to implement the biometrics, the financials, and attach it to a digital ID. You need that in order to be able to make sense of all that data. There's a good reason why he's the one talking about. He's a fucking, who did he work for? CTV? He's a fucking broadcaster. And that guy's the minister of AI. Like he was CTV or CBC, I can't remember which one, but he was mainstream broadcaster. That guy has no fucking idea about technology, and he's the AI minister. Really.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm. For me, it's not quite as like line in the sand, but I'm definitely skeptical of digital ID. I remember when it first came. Pretty much first time I heard about it really was on this show, probably back almost a year ago when we first started. And my take, I didn't really think of it. To me, it was just like, oh, okay, well, sure, yeah, of course we'd have digital ID at some point as we modernize technology. I've listened to the arguments, and I do find them persuasive enough to make me skeptical of it. One thing that's really made me skeptical of it is the fact I'm especially what's going on in the last couple of years. Anytime I see all the governments across the West doing a thing at the exact same time, I become very skeptical of it. It started back with immigration back in 2020. And then, some of the COVID stuff. It's just when something's coordinated like that, it makes me wonder, okay, what's the real reason for this? Why? And that's sort of where my skepticism lies. I would say I'm opposed to it now. Probably not as strongly as you, because I could be convinced if I saw persuasive evidence to the contrary, but I haven't seen that yet.
At the end of the day, man, it's just like communism. Is the idea great? Sure. If you consider human nature, communism doesn't work. There's a good reason why communism is responsible for over 100 million deaths in the 20th century, because it does not work. You centralize that type of power to just a few that they're in control of everything. Guess what? It doesn't take much time before they start censoring people they don't like, because they have the power to do so. And this is no different. What was the country? It wasn't Thailand. Was it Vietnam? I'm going to check right now. Wasn't it Vietnam that 80 million people got debanked because they refused to take the digital ID? This was just a few months ago. Remember what happened during COVID with the Freedom Truckers?
Might have been Thailand.
No, it wasn't Thailand. It wasn't Thailand, but it was a country right next to Thailand. So it was either Cambodia, Vietnam. It was one of those two countries, if I remember correctly, but it was one right next to Thailand. But just look at what they did during the Freedom Convoy. They froze people's bank account
Vietnam,
because
Vietnam shut down
yeah. See,
80%
so
of
it
accounts.
so it was Vietnam. So there you go. So you got Vietnamese, 80 million Vietnamese that got debanked for not accepting the digital ID. You got people right here in Canada during the log.
That's crazy.
Not during the lockdown, but during the convoy. You got people that donated money to the convoy that got their bank account frozen. So you don't need to go far to understand that it happens here. The GCCF, the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, have brought the government to court, and they helped win and prove that the government used the Emergency Act unconstitutionally. So this is not something that is far-fetched, that never happened before, that you only see in movies. This is a reality that we have had right here. Remember, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to you need a vaccination passport to go to the fucking restaurant. This is 2 years, 3 years ago, man. It's not that long ago. And we're acting like this shit has never happened. It has happened right here. And now you're telling Ivan Solomon, a fucking broadcaster, is the AI minister that is talking about building the framework for a EU-Canada digital ID. If that does not fucking scare you, wake the fuck up. This ain't good, man. This is not fucking good. In a world where Canada, I was looking again today, 1 out of 4 Canadian is food insecure. 1 out of 4 Canadians right now is not sure how he's going to afford all of his meals. 1 out of 4, that's 25%. And our government is busy passing C2, C8, C9, C12, C16, and UC63. They're busy putting in place the framework for digital IDs when Canadians can't eat, when the food banks in Canada cannot provide enough food for the people that are asking for it. And their main concern is free speech. You know, you remember Bill C8? We went through Bill C8. We did a deep dive with John Carpe from the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom. Remember how it gave Mélanie Joly the power to de-internet someone. Anybody that they see that they don't like, they would now have the power to ask your internet service provider to cut your internet. But if you remember, that bill was about telecommunications. It was about putting in place the framework to secure the government servers. And that is why. It is the framework that digital IDs need, that AI needs. All those bills, how many times have I said that all those bills are one big fuck you bill that they split in many so that we don't ask too many questions? But Bill C8 is directly needed in order to implement the AI that we need to implement digital ID, to attach biometrics. It's not a fucking coincidence that our medical records are now electronically available. Because guess where they're going to get your biometrics from? You think they're going to ask you, would you please give us your biometrics? They don't need you. They don't need you to approve. They have them already. And for all the people out there that gave their DNA to, what was the company? Ancestry.
23andMe.
Do you know that that company went bankrupt and private corporations
Yeah.
bought all of them? And what were you saying yesterday about VPNs? What is the nicest front for a government operation? Private entities. So you don't think VPNs are possibly owned by the government? Obviously, some of them are. You don't think that 23andMe potentially could have be bought by a front company, a shell corporation for the government? Now they have your DNA because people gave. Not only did people give it to them, they paid. Take my money and my DNA. Yes, you were protected. If that company kept it, you were protected. They were not allowed legally to give it away. But in bankruptcy, why do you think they're buying those companies? Not because they want to offer that service. They don't give a fuck about that service. What they want is your DNA.
That was a hot. They basically did an auction for that company and the only asset that company has is that data set. the only value.
100%.
And
Yep.
yeah, it's pretty, yeah. And once they all the agreements that they signed with you, that's all null and void once they sell your data. Whoever buys it, whatever
Exactly.
private equity firm or government entity, they're not bound by those agreements. They can do whatever they want with them.
Nope. 100%. You're absolutely right. Guys, by the way, if it's your first time here, make sure to like, make sure to comment. That's the whole point why we do it live. We could literally just do it, Rob and I, and just talk and then post it as is, but we do it live because we want to hear from you guys. So make sure to join the comment section. And if you like what we do, subscribe. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that little bell. We go live Sunday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have a show at 3 p.m., a special show tomorrow at 3 p.m. I often do mashups on Saturday nights. We're always recording content. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. We want to hear from you. And there's one more topic I wanted to talk about because it all interconnects, and somebody brought it up. I think it was Guido yesterday that actually talked about this. So I figured
the Australian law.
Yes, sir. Because how does that not all connect with digital IDs? Because this is what's happening. And you'll see there's a portion of the video that is about the United States. And man, the next video I'm going to show you, and we'll finish on this. We'll take a few minutes to just go through this video. But Australia's social media ban for children under the age of 16 was put in place yesterday. This is something that they've been talking about for months. I had completely forgotten about it, but I've spoken about it on the show here. But it has gone live. This is the reality right now in Australia. Kids and teenagers under the age of 16 can no longer access social media. And as per this video, other countries are interested in what they're doing. Let's watch this video, and then I will reiterate why this is very fucking problematic.
Now turning to a story that we first told you about yesterday right here on GMI, as Australia has become the first country in the world to ban social media for kids under the age of 16.
And yesterday, kids woke up to all of their social media accounts deleted, and now the world is watching to see how this law plays out, with many hoping to implement similar bans. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest, including the interest here in the United States.
Teens, parents, and politicians around the world are eyeing the rollout of the world's first social media ban for children under 16.
It says my account is banned and I can no longer log on or use the app at all.
What started in Australia is gaining interest in the United States.
I think what Australia is doing is what a lot of the world is starting to step into, is say, well, the ills of social media, there's a lot of good things about social media, but the ills of social media are enough that something has to be done beyond just leaving it to Meta and the platforms themselves.
Facebook, Threads, X, Snapchat, Kik, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and YouTube ordered to block children or face millions in fines. While the companies have been critical of the ban, many parents and lawmakers in Australia say the new restrictions will make kids safer.
Wanted to keep them away and give them a reprieve from the persuasive and pervasive design features that are designed to keep us all hooked.
Some of the U.S. are now pushing for Washington lawmakers to follow Australia's lead.
This is the next frontier we have to do to protect our kids. And either you're going to leave parents alone facing Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the other social medias, or you're going to help parents do the job of being a parent.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
I like how that guy at the end says that it's to help parents. Guys, you are responsible for what your kids do. If you don't want them on social media, make sure that they're not on social media. It's really not that hard. There's applications that you can buy and install on all your devices that will prevent them from going online. I have friends that homeschools their children and they're not on social media at all. Zero at all. So it is a choice that you make. The problem with this is that they're always going to sell you the idea that it is for children's protection. But the truth is that in order to prove that you are 16 or older, you will have to provide a piece of ID that is governmental approved in order to prove that you're that age. So that means that every single social media account that you own, in order to access them in Australia, you will need to prove that you are above 18 or 18 or over. That means that in order to prevent the children from being on the app, you are responsible for proving that you are above 16. So every single account that you have will be attached to a government piece of ID. And everything that you do online is now 100% tracked. They can follow you and know exactly who is doing it. This is insane, man. The fact that people are not thinking about this is absolutely insane. Always in the name of safety. Was it Thomas Jefferson that said that those who are ready to exchange liberties for a bit of security deserve neither? This is what we're seeing right now. So guys, this is a problem, but unfortunately, you know that this is going to spread. This is going to come. They're talking about how it should be done in the US. Who knows if that's ever going to happen, at least not right now, but you don't think that's going to happen in the UK? You don't think that's going to happen here in Canada? We have a government that's been tabling censorship and surveillance bills, 5 of them in the past 7 months. I thought they would be able to table another one before the end of the year, but they won't be, because as far as I know, the House of Commons was sitting for the last time today. So they're going to have to wait for the next year. But all to say that will be 5 or 6 censorship/surveillance bill. They're 1 vote away from a majority, so they will not need any other party's approval. So if you still believe that voting matters, it's not even going to matter, because they will be able to do it without anybody else's approval. And that's the next step. Once you are able to censor people online, once you're able to go after them and hold them accountable criminally for hate speech, you don't think that they're going to try to ban social media? Carney has alluded to the fact that he didn't like X. So guys, it's one of those situations, man, that we are really going down the path of censorship, of being fucked. And it blows my mind to this day, because the UK is going through it right now, and yet we're not learning. It's happening in real time. We're seeing in Australia now. We've seen what's going on in the UK. Now they're talking digital IDs in the UK. They're talking about 3-4 years from now, if you don't have a digital ID, you won't be able to work. This is our situation right now. We have censorship bills upon censorship bills upon censorship bills that are trying to be passed in our House of Commons, yet the average Canadian is... I don't know what the fuck the average Canadian is doing. But as I said many times, and I'm going to repeat it again, it's going to need to get a lot worse before the average Canadian wakes up. He's going to need... They're going to need to see people getting arrested. And it's... I think it's going to need to get worse before it gets better. And unfortunately, that means that people are going to have to pay the price for the many to wake up. But that is the situation in which we live, and that's the reality. So it looks like Rob's camera is just crashed, and he's not going to be back. So it's good timing, because the show's done. We're 3 minutes over. But all to say, we've seen a lot of new faces today. So thank you for joining the show. Thank you for commenting. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. We want to see you again, but we want to hear what you have to say, because this is the whole point of the show. It really doesn't matter that you're a liberal, that you're a conservative, that you don't know where you fit anymore. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, agree with what we say, disagree with what we say. The whole point is to be able to have a civil conversation between people that don't agree. Because this is what we need today, is to be able to speak to one another. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So if you believe in what Rob and I are doing, make sure to subscribe. We are independent. We don't follow any political parties. So we have a sponsor, but we got to tell you, this is not paying the bills by any stretch of the imagination. But if you guys do want to support the work that Rob and I are doing, you can become a member, $2.99 a month. It's less than a nasty Tim Horton coffee. Or if you don't want to give your money to YouTube, I understand it. You can buy us a coffee. The QR code is right there on the right side of your screen. On that note, we are We are having a special live tomorrow, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We are sitting down with Mark Nixon to talk about the state of the conservative movement or conservatism in Canada. We'll be talking about it tomorrow. And on Saturday, we have a mashup. Jason Levine and I will have 4 guests from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, where we will be talking about radical Islam. And on Sunday, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., I will be on a live stream, fundraiser live stream for Arthur Pawlowski's work that he does with the homeless. So on that note, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for the comments. And we will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. On that note, guys, have a great fucking evening.